I'm Nyesha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Welcome to another edition of The Challenge. As always, we'd like to first give thanks to God and to you, the viewers, for tuning in. We have asked Attorney Steve Mednick to come back and sort of expound a little bit more on this charter revision for the city of Hartford. Hartford being the capital city of the state of Connecticut. Attorney Mednick has help to those who are on the Charter Revision Commission navigate through these legal waters, and quite frankly, I think it needs a further explanation. Certainly, when it comes to some of what's been given to us to vote on in this general election on the ballot. Attorney Mednick, welcome back again.
Great to be here.
All right, fantastic. We didn't get a chance to go very far into question number one on the ballot, which talked about this audit commission, if you will, and talks about this ethics commission also. And also, too, please, if you will, talk about how often we'll revisit charter revision in the future.
Terrific, thank you. One of the significant things, and I hope it doesn't get lost in the omnibus question, and what I call the kitchen sink question, are two major things you've done, the Charter Revision Commission and the City Council have done with regard to public accountability. Hartford has two unique offices. You have an independent treasurer,
right,
and you have an independent audit unit and audit commission.
Correct.
No other communities in the state. I've done charter revision in every city, a major city of the state of Connecticut. There's nothing akin to those two functions that you have here that are kind of checks on mayoral authority or council authority, for that matter.
That's good.
It's
for democracy.
It's a very good thing for democracy.
Sure.
To spread the accountability around and the oversight around.
Transparency.
And the transparency.
Too. Sure.
What they did this year to assure that the Independent Audit Commission would remain independent is put a provision in there that prohibits the mayor and the city council from conspiring to reduce their budget. So the Independent Audit Commission by charter,
as a way of influencing it,
or eliminating its ability to do its job.
Right.
So there will now be a provision saying that the independent of the mayor's budget, the Audit Commission shall have no less than what it received the year before. So that their floor is always what it had been.
Okay.
It can go up if everybody agrees that it needs to go up, but it can't go down. So you can't eliminate it. And I think that's very, very significant.
Absolutely.
Secondly, there's a very clear provision in this proposal that permits the Audit Commission to hire any independent consultants, attorneys, forensic accountants, anybody they may need to do an investigation. They, of course, would have to get the money from somewhere to do it, either presumably from the City Council. But they have the clear authority to do that. So
that's good.
I think those are two very significant things that are in the kitchen sink question. Question number one. Another significant issue is that the Charter Commission placed into the charter the Ethics Commission. You have an Ethics Commission. What they've done now is they've constitutionalized the Ethics Commission.
Okay.
Like the Independent Audit Commission, it can't go away unless you have a charter revision. So that's very clear.
Yeah.
The Ethics Commissions also, by state law, have subpoena authority. So there may be some more authority that they have to be able to call in errant public officials, whether they're in the executive branch or the legislative branch, to account for violations of the ethics ordinance in the town.
Right.
The other element that they added to it is beyond the pure ethics provisions, is a provision that requires the commission to recommend to the City Council legislation dealing with whistleblowers. There is no local whistleblower legislation anywhere else in the state of Connecticut. This would be a first step for a community to establish whistleblower standards in the local government, trying to piggyback onto the state statute that would again be one more level of accountability where a public
That's extraordinary.
employee
Sure.
who sees something wrong
Right.
will have the protection of its charter and protection of the ordinances to be able to point a finger and commence some kind of review, whether it's by the Independent Audit Commission, the Ethics Commission, or a prosecutor. And so I think those are very significant, and I hope that the voters take a very careful look at those provisions. The
frequency with which you will revisit the charter is predetermined to some degree, but can be even much more regular.
You just said it all. I don't have to say anything. There's a misconception.
Right.
The charter requires a review of the charter every 10 years, not less than every 10 years.
Right.
Hartford's already exceeded that. Hartford adopted their charter in 2002. There was a charter revision, which I was counsel on, and I was counsel again in 2008 or 2009. It never got out of the city council, and now there's this third effort. Anytime an issue comes up of significance, I'm not saying you should go back to charter revision every year. This is the Constitution.
Sure.
You don't want to change it. You want to create a document that can live for a period of time. But if there are problems with it, if there are issues that people have with it, or tweaks that need to be made, then the city council can adopt a charter revision resolution any year it wants, any time it wants. There's no restriction on it. I remember years ago the city of Bridgeport did annual charter revisions, taking up little pieces of the charter incrementally.
Right.
And city of New Britain, where I did 3 charter revisions 3 years in a row. 1 year we dealt with restructuring the entire charter. The next year we dealt with some other ancillary issues, and then the third year we dealt with the political issues, creating districts. So they broke it down into 3 separate years of modifying their charter. So the public has a lot of control. The public can also petition charter revision on the ballot. So it's not every 10 years. That's a misnomer.
Well, this is a wonderful opportunity, I think, for us as citizens to appreciate. Really, I think that charter revision, unfortunately, not creating as much of a stir, if you will, as perhaps some of the other elections have in the past, but no less significant. In fact, in some ways, much more significant than some of the other things that happen in general elections. We've got to figure out how to get this message out and make sure that people are participating in the process. I think that, and I don't know how you necessarily legislate that, but you guys have done great work.
Well, the commission did a terrific job. Chairman Green, Ken Green, was outstanding. You had an outstanding group of public citizens serving on that commission. But one point I want to just jump on, which I think is very, very important. The other night we participated in a forum, and you were at the forum where somebody described the election next Tuesday as a bogus election, and that this charter revision deserves something more. Actually, this charter revision deserved an election where it should have been the center of the election fight.
I agree.
And you can't argue as an excuse that no one is running for the Board of Education, or you don't have competitive races for the Board of Education. This is the most significant legal document that exists in the community, and those people who are calling it bogus should have been out there supporting it or opposing it, stirring up action, and getting the voters to come out and not depend on the gubernatorial election year or a presidential election year. Every election is important, and it's a municipal general election, and I urge people to come out to vote next Tuesday and to take a look at these questions and vote one way or the other.
Oh, I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. I think in some ways this is precedent setting. I think that not just for the state of Connecticut and the city of Hartford, but quite frankly, democracy, if you will, and what it's supposed to mean throughout this country. I think that Hartford has, and what the Charter Revision Commission is doing now is nothing short of what we should do to ensure that our democracy is working for us.
Let's make a statement. All around the country, secretaries of states and legislatures are trying to suppress votes.
Right.
Here in Connecticut, here in Hartford, you have the ability to vote. No one is trying to suppress your vote.
Right.
Don't suppress your own. Get out and vote, and take a look at this charter next week.
Well said. Can't say it any better than that. We want to thank Attorney Mednick for spending more time with us. This has been, an extraordinary opportunity, I think, for us to hear firsthand about charter revision, the operating instructions, the Constitution of the city of Hartford in the state of Connecticut, which happens to be the Constitution state. Quite frankly, here we're trying to make certain that we are all participating in this democracy and are all making certain that this democracy works for us all. Extraordinary tool, this charter revision. We need to make certain that others are aware and are participating in this democracy and, in fact, will come out and vote in this general election. Thank you, Attorney Mednick, for your time.
Thank you very much.
It's been fantastic.
Been fun to
We'll
do.
have to do it again. We're going to make sure we won't lose contact with you. I know you're a very busy guy, but you know you've taken the time to come to Hartford, and we appreciate it. My hat's off to you. Remember, be blessed.